The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
65.
From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
Have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. Dalton on the draw to Mixon. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Silver.
3rd down from the gun, Dalton. He finds his running back, Mixon. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Joker.
First carry for James Conner. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30. Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move. Forward down.
That's the West. 80 weapon.
52's the mic, boy. 52. Watch QB.
Let's go.
Here's Rudolph. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Let's go. 60 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
Hey, Sam on.
Rush in. Shit.
On 1st and 10 is Conner. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. A check on the numbers last week for Conner. 12 carries, 134 yards.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play, and I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams, because if you throttle back too early, you lose the rhythm of the run game, not just with the runner, but with the offensive line as well.
On second down, Connor looking for space. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Here we go. Set. 50. Plant.
Let him know.
Get it.
Here comes a first down throw from Rudolph. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
61. Max box right. Charge. Guard.
Check 43.
Deep grip.
Now a toss. This is Connor.
Go.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner, his 17th touchdown now on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to...
Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it was a touchdown run by James Conner that was the exclamation mark. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
The numbers for Mixon last week, 12 carries, 51 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
Check pass.
They look to throw on third with Dalton. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There was nothing available there for him.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And you can see they've already clinched the AFC North. As it stands, of course, they would still need to host a game on Wild Card Weekend. But you know, we always talk about coaches saying we want to win that division, and that's the key thing, right?
You're exactly right. Win the division. That's where it all starts. That's how you construct your team each and every year. How are we going to win our division? What's it going to take? What type of team do we need to have? Then once you get that accomplished, you're hosting the 1st round. You're hosting the wild card. So you tell your fans, come on out and support us here. Let's use this as a springboard for a deep run.
The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Watch the eye.
Pilot, 64, weak.
36, 36.
Hard.
Big ass.
Hit it.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Connor. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Defensive starters, here they are for Cincinnati. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they've got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better.
Tight dog.
On 2nd down, it's Connor. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Kill.
X3, 218, chop. Ready.
A quick throw into the hands of Switzer. A gain of 6 there on 1st. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Here we go. 8, read.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field.
Let's 57.
From the 41, Rudolph going deep to the end zone for Juju. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Rudolph looking to throw. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. The tally there, -8 yards. Leads to 4th down as well.
How did he do that? How did he do it? I mean, in this type of weather, it's not just catching it, it's seeing it coming towards it. Maybe that's why he ended up having to go up one-handed, but boy, what a catch.
That was a spectacular one-handed grab.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1 yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
55. Let's go, let's go.
They give it off here to the tight end. And he'll get this only up to about the 3 yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, to me, that's taking a big gamble defensively because that alignment you see, that's normally something you see down near the goal line. Because now, if they decide to go play action, something should be open there, and I think open big.
So maybe that's something that gets filed away for later.
I think without a doubt, you write it down, and if you see that look at a later date, go ahead and take your shot.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. From the gun, a give to Mixon.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Dalton now, the pass. Got an open man, that's C.J. Uzomah. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Now the first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He can't hang. He's not going to get me.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. It's a gain of 6, moves them to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Now Bengals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Dalton here from the gun. He's got his man, Boyd. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Dalton. That's complete to John Ross. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Don't get nervous.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Watch the flat, watch the flat.
A draw play. Bernard. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. A draw play for Mixon. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on second down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on second and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
On third down, Bernard. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And his kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, the drive started the shadow of their own goalpost all the way back at the 2. Pretty nice job of getting downfield and at least getting 3.
Agreed on that one. A real nice job because really their goal was to get out of the shadows of those goalposts and give themselves a little bit of room to help out their defense. Instead, they got 3 points out of it.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Rudolph just does beat the play clock. Finds his running back, James Conner. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Check, 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 check. Swing. Fair. Slam. Go out. 5.
Now the man from nearby Columbus, Ohio, Benny Snell, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box, and guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Now on 2nd and 13, Rudolph. And that'll be incomplete. Ryan Switzer, the intended target. And it's 3rd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Shotgun snap for Rudolph. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. So officially now a 1,000-yard campaign for him, but I don't think he's going to take his foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, it's one of those thoughts, though, that creeps into your mind because there is a little mini celebration over on the sidelines. Everybody, hey, job well done, over 1,000 already. But guaranteed, as you noted, someone's jumped in the huddle and said, a lot more to be done, guys. Let's not, would you say, take your foot off the pedal? Let's not do that right now. But there is that possibility as people can get self-satisfied. The greats do not. We'll find out what he's made of.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now Joe Mixon. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pick up of 2 yards. From just shy of midfield, Dalton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. So Dalton now. And able to find Green. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. 1st down. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Hands up. Green 18. Watch the curl. Watch the curl. Watch the curl. Hands up.
On the delay, it's Mixon. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. Dalton, 1st and 10. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Terrell Edmonds comes flying in from safety for the sack. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range.
Check 26. Check 26.
Andy Dalton. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. The tight end, C.J. Uzomah, the intended receiver. 3rd down here.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter. A lot of time to change things. 3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the 1st half. Here's Matt Bosher now, as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. He's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as it comes with 22 seconds to go here at half number 1. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
Here we go again. Here we go.
Rudolph now to throw. Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So after the penalty, we'll have one final untimed play here before halftime. A final shot before the break. Rudolph. Washington's got it.
Come on, baby. Let's
So
go.
we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Chopper!
Mike, 55. Check 55. Mike.
Hey!
Check tight. Check tight.
Smith! Shoot!
Back to throw, Rudolph. And that's complete to Luke Wilson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
General West!
Watch Mike. Watch the curl. Watch the curls. 52's the Mike, boys. 52. Let's go, D.
Hey, Haywood. Let's go.
They'll go with Snell here on first down. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Big Geno Atkins there to bring him down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
52. Gotta do better. Come on, QB, come on. Slam, slam, slam.
Leo.
Check hot, hot. Check 3.
They go jet sweep. Washington with it. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Let's go.
They'll fake it. Now Rudolph. Trying to lay one up deep. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Ryan Switzer, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Extra point now by Boswell. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Dalton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephon Tuitt racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Passing, it's Dalton. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Watch the ship.
Hey, lock it.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Jack.
Get it.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. He's got the first down and more past midfield. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 40 yards on the ground.
First play of the drive, excellent run. Just sets up wash, rinse, repeat. Another first down.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Play action. It's Rudolph. Complete to Washington. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They've moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one.
Down. 8, read.
I'm coming after you.
Quickstone, Travis.
I'm coming after you.
Under 10. Under 10. Hey, stand up.
Check 9, check 9. He's coming. Double up, double up.
Big dribble, big dribble.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Touchdown.
Jalen Samuels with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting